the end game for all of us is to improve our portfolios, to generate wealth where we can, do the things that we love, whatever those things are. Maybe we love just buying property and we can do that forever. But, the thing is though, for me, I guess, the main aim and the name of the game is I just want to increase and improve the ability of people to see through the fucking bullshit. Sorry to swear. To see through the bullshit, to see through the marketing campaigns, to understand how when someone is lying, to understand when the story is incomplete, to also realize competence. There's so many buyers agents coming to the market and people perceive that as a negative. That's actually extreme positive.
It is a positive.
Why? Because differentiating yourself from others becomes extremely easy.
It does.
Because the bar has been lowered. There's so many people coming, so many buyers agents coming to the market. Competency has actually been inadvertently, which seems like a paradox, man. There's less and less competence. So you're actually differentiating yourself 100%. Against others.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard horror stories from buyers agents, about, why you should invest in an area. And I ask them, okay, why? Crickets. I actually don't know. And there are buyers that are using someone's money and actually securing their financial future. I mean, that's horrific, man. Horrific.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the main aim. If there's a purpose for me, it's like teaching people to, both teaching buyers agents how to deliver to their clients and actually minimize all of that anxiety.
Yeah.
Close clients quicker, reflect competence, which means ethics and trust.
Yeah.
Minimize anxiety. That's it. Yeah. And also get rid of all the mud and all the, inconsistencies that are because everything is social media dominated,
100%. Give me one hotspot in Melbourne. Give me one hotspot. And this is random. This is nothing to do with anyone's.
One hotspot, one not spot.
Give me one hotspot. Give me somewhere. Actually, give me a warm spot. Give us a warm spot that has a great data set in each of the 3 Eastern Seaboard states. Let's start off with Melbourne, Victoria.
I love Taylor Hills in Melbourne.
Taylor Hills.
Taylor Hills. That's also in Milton. Yeah. It's a high price point. Yeah. I like Milton West. I like Kurrajong.
Yeah.
Again, let's remember for who. But I like the trends in the metrics. In Queensland, I like the Brinsmeads. I like Baby Heights. I like Edmonton for a lower price point. Townsville has, gone past its... I mean, it's a hotspot. It's a rampant hotspot. It's the same thing that we were talking about in Perth a year ago, So those are popping up. Other states I'm not looking at, in all honesty, because I get driven by data. I don't really care where the suburb is located and what the suburb's name is. Yeah. I just want to see what the data says. So Melbourne is, will be the warm spot thing. Cairns would be in between a hot and a warm. Perth, I'm not even looking at.
Well, let's touch on WA before we go quickly. Whenever I do my data sets, I rarely have a WA come up.
Yeah. Because
it's
you're following a particular methodology. Yeah. Now, WA has a great, a short-term indicator such as, it has a nosediving supply, nosediving days on market. The issue with some WA areas, as we see, we have a dramatically increasing vacancy rate, which usually signals oversaturation from investors. So WA still has legs to grow, but again, probably a year or two, you know what I mean? Or maybe less, I'm not sure. But so those short-term indicators are great. The long-term indicators, in my view, are not.
I think some people might be saved with WA with the rate cuts and might spur on a little bit of a second end wind to that market. Look, we're going to see what happens with the economy. But at the same token, we've also got a potential GFC incoming.
Well, let's bring it down to basics. Again, affordability in WA. Some areas are still very affordable, but you don't look at affordability in terms of, let's say, the index in years to own, but you look at the forceful increase in unaffordability. So again, I can afford the $300 to fill my trolley up. I can afford it. Can still afford it, but it's impacting my lifestyle. So in the same way, when something jumps up so rapidly and so fast, even though individuals can potentially afford it in an area, you have dynamics that are changing demand patterns within that suburb inadvertently. Even if it's still affordable, So now coming on to, I've read articles where, people who have made money in WA will suddenly be able to, use that equity and actually purchase higher entry points in WA. So there's going to be a second wind of the 800K markets. Yeah. I mean, whoever's written that article hasn't considered affordability, servicing and serviceability into the equation because first and foremost, if I bought in a lower end of the market, I bought because of my borrowing capacity.
Yeah.
And that my borrowing capacity still remains the same. Doesn't matter if I generated 150 or 200K equity from my investment. I still have to have the borrowing capacity to extract the equity, service the debt, and then buy in a location that's of higher value.
Yeah.
So that second wind from the first wind that we've made in WA doesn't really make sense to me.
Yeah, I've seen that article.
Yeah. It doesn't really make sense to me. I think, I don't know what the house was. Yeah. So, but then in saying what you're saying, you got to apply everything across the board. You can't you can't bin count and say, okay, in this area, interest rates will play a role in this area. Yeah. But then my question is, what about others? If they're going to play a role, which they will, and also let's not go up into the clouds and consider macroeconomics. Let's see what's happening on the ground with purchasing patterns.
Yeah.
So if interest rates will play a role in a hot spot, do you think they'll play a role in the warm spot? If the answer is yes for one, then it's yes for the other. But then which one's better? Is it better to carry the full market momentum in a warm spot and actually capture the entire hot spot? Yeah. Or is it better to enter a tail end of a hot spot and actually just make minimal amount? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So macroeconomics do play a role, but the timing of entry and exit is very important.
100%.
I would say, just to carry that whole momentum. And that's pretty much it.
That's it, man. I think it's a good chat. I think it went for a while.
We can do this for hours. We can do this.
No, it's really good. I really appreciate your time.